Hello everyone and welcome to day 5 of my 365-day communication challenge. Today I would like to talk about one of the most important concepts in software engineering, the solid principles. When I was early in my career, I focused mainly on writing code that worked. If the application ran successfully, I felt my job was done. But as I gained more experience, I realized that writing code is only the beginning. The real challenge is maintaining that code months or even years later. Teams change, business requirements evolve, and new features are constantly added. If the code is not well designed, even a small change can introduce bugs and slow down the development. That is where solid principle becomes valuable. So let's talk about what are the solid principles. Solid is a collection of 5 software design principles that helps developer write code that is easier to understand, maintain, and extend. So let's briefly explain each one. S stands for single responsibility principle. A class should have one clear responsibility. O stands for open close principle. Software should be open for the extension but closed for the modification, allowing new feature to be added with minimal changes to the existing code. L stands for rescue substitution principle. A child class should be able to replace its parent class without changing the expected behavior. I stand for interface segregation principle. Key Keep interfaces focused so that classes only implement what they actually need. D stand for dependency inversion principle. High level modules should dependent on the abstraction rather than concrete implementations. Although these names sounds technical, the underlying ideas is straightforward. Build software that is flexible and easy to change. So let's talk about some real life example. Imagine you are organizing a large office. Instead of asking one person to handle the hiring, payroll, IT support, office maintenance, customer services, and finance, you assigned each responsibility to a dedicated team. Each team becomes an expert in its own area. If one department needs improvement, you can make changes without disrupting the others. Software works the same way. If one class is responsible for too many things, even a small change can affect multiple parts of the application. By dividing responsibilities clearly, we create software that is easier to test, easier to debug, and easier to improve over time. In my own experience developing mobile applications, I have seen how a well-structured architecture makes it much easier to add new features without creating unexpected issues. Why this matters to the business? It's easy to think that solid principles are only important for the developers, but they also have a direct business impact. Well-designed software reduces maintenance cost. It enables team to deliver new features more quickly. It decreases the number of product issues. It also makes onboarding new engineers much faster because the code base is easier to understand. For any organization, this leads to faster delivery, better productivity, and greater customer satisfaction. So one common mistake I have seen in trying to apply solid principle from the very beginning of the project. Sometimes developer over-engineer solution by adding unnecessary abstraction before they are needed. The goal is not to create the most complex architecture possible. The goal is to create software that solves today's problem while remain flexible enough for the tomorrow's requirement. Good architecture is about balance. Simplicity should always come before unnecessary complexity. So to summarize, solid principles are the guideline that helps build software that is easier to understand, maintain, and strengthen. They improve collaboration within teams and make software more adaptable to change. As engineers, we should focus not only on writing code that works today, but also to building systems that remain valuable in future. Thank you for watching day 5 of my communication challenge. If you found this explanation helpful, I would love for you to follow along as I continue sharing one lesson every day. See you tomorrow. Thank you.